I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 Good afternoon. Today it's me, Kat Martin, and Sanjay Peters here in Brampton, Ontario for the Canadian Ultimate University Championships. Today we have our women's team. It's the University of Ottawa GGs versus Manitoba. So first of all, we would like to acknowledge that Brampton lives on a treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and before them, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Huron-Wendat. We also acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and other global Indigenous people who now call Brampton their home. We are honored to live, work on, and enjoy this land. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thanks, Kat. What a game. What a time to be alive. Beautiful last game of the day. The sun is setting. It's 20 degrees here in Brampton, Ontario. The trees are just changing color, so it's a really stunning scene. On the right side of your screen, you'll see Team CUUC Ottawa Women's GGs. They've got a great team. They're one of the favorites for the whole tournament. They just narrowly won a Universe Point game against Laval just maybe 20 minutes ago. And here they are against the third seed of the tournament, the other major competition in their group in Team Manitoba. Ottawa finished first at CUUC last year. They're just an electric team with a great reputation. Sorry about that. That was the start of the game horn. They finished second at Easterns earlier this season, and they finished third at CUUC in 2023. So a team with a lot of success in their history, and they'll be hoping to try and at least medal, if not go all the way this year.
So we've got Gigi's pulling here to Manitoba. Go back with the disc, centering it to right. Right, passing it through. Right, with the disc. We see Gigi's pulling a zone as we expected and when we spoke to the coaches earlier. Really great movement here for Manitoba, just really popping in and out of the cup. And now we are seeing person defense. We send her to Gobert. You see Manitoba working their way up the line with Miko with the disc. Pick called.
Pick called on the field, Kat, and what I'm really liking so far is just the general movement from this Manitoba team. This is the third game of today, third game plus a bye. So if they're starting to feel a little fatigued, this is the game that they're going to feel it.
This is a game that will be not only and what a wonderful grab by Friesen in the end zone. That will be Manitoba's first point of the game. But yeah, no, it will definitely become a mental game and a physical game as both teams have just come off really hot games. The University of Ottawa winning Universe Point against Université Laval. So it'll be really exciting to see both teams really wanting to win and be in that top three.
Mm-hmm. Great grab there by Amber Friesen. She's one of the all-stars of this team. She's played Team Canada under 20, and she's also been on the practice roster for Fusion the last couple of years, as well as playing for Team Manitoba, the juniors team. It's a slightly gusty day. It's not super windy, but we do have some wind coming from behind the camera across the field. So a lot of the throws that you see are going to drift farther away from you as a viewer. So it was important that Friesen was there. Otherwise, it probably would have overpassed everybody. But it was a great read and great grab by Friesen.
The best thing to do when you have this much wind is use it to your advantage. Use the wind to help you, just to your advantage, help you guide your throw, help you overpower your throw, you know. Use it as much as you can. Don't work against it.
Now we get to see Ottawa's offense for the first time this game. Hopefully they also have a hold. It's important to start games like these, important games, big games, with holds from either side.
Prentice with the disc. Prentice to Roussel. Roussel to Shannon. A nice little movement between Roussel and Shannon. Now we see Manitoba applying their zone, as well as we spoke to the coach. We knew that we were going to see some zone from both teams.
Stall down called by Manitoba. It's going to come back to Shannon But that was a stall down called by Carol-Jean Wong. They have called the observer over to offer their perspective. The observers count the stalls as well of their own time, so they can offer a pretty accurate tell on whether or not it was a stall down or not.
Shout out to our Team Orange. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you guys.
Looks like it's going to be a contested stall down, so Shannon's going to have the disc with 2 stalls left to go.
All right. Gigi's back on O with the disc. Shannon to Mooter. Mooter to Clement. Clement to Prentice. Prentice to Shannon. Prentice with the disc looking deep to Mooter. Mooter to Prentice. And Mooter working her way across the field between Prentice and Mooter. Nice up the line cut by Clement. Clement to Steele. Steele to Shannon with a break pass. Shannon to Clement. Shannon to Clement for the point, and that is the first point for the University of Ottawa. You can really see the connection between the University of Ottawa and their players, just the give and goes that they have. They like to work their way up the line.
That was a really clean offensive point by the Ottawa GGs. I'm happy that Kate Clement scored early. I know she had a bit of a rough game in the previous game, and it's nice to be able to take a break, reset between games, and come back as a renewed person. Kate Clement is a very important player for this Ottawa team, this Ottawa team. She played Stella and under 20 this past summer. Manitoba's also a very strong seed. They finished #1 in their region of Manitoba. They finished 4th in the last 2 years at this tournament and 2nd in 2022.
So Manitoba said that everyone would be seeing the field. Same with the University of Ottawa. So it'll be really fun to see the whole roster and see all the faces. Some of them being club players, some of them being junior graduates as well. So it'll be really fun just to see the diversity. Manitoba on O, right with the disc, centering it. Manitoba's looking for options as they're setting their vert stack back to right. Perfect. Nice catch from McFadden. McFadden to Gobert. Gobert to Boyda. Boyda centering it. Nice grab from McFadden again. Really great chemistry as they're working their way up and as they're swinging across the field. Great save there by Gobert. Gobert to right. Right's looking for that beautiful flick. And it's in. So that was right to Boyda for the 2nd point for Manitoba.
Boyda's played for PPHG, another team from the Winnipeg area this past season. That was a nice grab between her legs. I'm not sure if she's done that one before, but it looked very natural.
It's there for the stream.
Yeah, just did it because we're on camera.
Okay. She'll have it forever.
Yeah, Manitoba knows how to put on a show for you viewers at home. Manitoba did lose their first game against the previously mentioned Laval, so this is a big game for them to come back into. They've talked about, as Kat has mentioned, they've made sure everyone's gotten play time so far this weekend, but they did say that for this game, they really wanted to win and show you Ottawa they had what it takes to go all the way. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them roll lines a bit more often.
It's really exciting, especially when you also have, I know Gigi's were mentioning that they wanted to also go home with 3 wins, just like the Open team as well, and just celebrate as a program, because both programs last year came first. So it's really exciting when you have your supportive team there with you.
Just to clarify, whenever Kat refers to the GGs, that's the U Ottawa team. That's just their nickname. Just for anyone at home who's struggling to follow along there.
Do you know what a GG is?
What is a GG?
It's the first horse out of the gate.
Horse. Oh, okay, great.
Hence why they have a horse on their jerseys. All right, Prentice with the disc. And we've got Manitoba setting their zone. All right, Roussel with the disc now. Roussel looking at her options to Clement. Clement to Muter.
Nice blade over the top by Clement.
Beautiful. Muter to Prentice. Prentice centering to Muter. Muter to Roussel. Roussel fighting Clement to Shannon. Shannon's looking at her options with a nice little pop pass to Clement. Clement is threading that needle to Prentice. Prentice to Shannon. Shannon to Muter. Muter centering it back to Prentice. Prentice to Shannon. Oh, and a pick call. I do have to say, compared to a lot of games that we've seen this weekend, this one has been really good at their discussions with their calls. Shannon back with the disc. Back to Prentice. Breakthrow to Shannon. Shannon back to Prentice. Prentice to Muter. Back to Prentice. Prentice to Shannon. Back to Prentice. They're so close to that end zone. And to Muter for the point for the University of Ottawa. That was incredible patience. It is very hard sometimes, especially when you're near that end zone with a temptation to just want to huck it. So kudos to them for having that patience and really just textbook with smooth swings and making their way to make that point.
What I liked about that point was it didn't feel like Prentice was that involved in maybe the first half of the field. And then as they got close to the end zone, she started to take more responsibility. And she's one of the key handlers on this team, if maybe not the most experienced player in this whole squad. So I'll be surprised if she's not getting a lot of the assists leading towards the end of this game and for most of tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. And I think that just goes to show you the way you describe it is exactly the definition of a vet handler player.
That was the 4th hold in a row, and not a single turnover thus far.
Manitoba getting ready on the line for their O point. So it's really exciting. We have about, all right, we've got Wright again with a disc. Manitoba setting a beautiful vert stack with a pick call. Going to return back to Wright. All right, it's back in, right to Friesen. Friesen with the huck. So close. Unlucky.
That was a good look by Friesen. I like that thought. I feel like you Ottawa are really just trying to take away the underthrows from Manitoba. So I was waiting for them to put up a huck and make you Ottawa have to guard them more honestly. That wasn't really the huck I was hoping for, but I'm glad they put it up. 2 turnovers, the first 2 turnovers of the game.
This could be a very pivotal point here because both teams have had a turnover and we're both tied. So it really is going to be, we'll see if it'll be a long point like we've seen throughout the day. And on top, the wind has now started picking up. Right with the disc to McFadden. McFadden to right again. Right to Boyda. Boyda to right. Great save by right with a beautiful huck. And so close. Great effort by Gobert.
So after no turnovers in the first 4 points, we've got 3 turnovers in this one possession. Another huck there by U Ottawa. Interesting to see that maybe the U Ottawa's D-line's natural default reaction is to huck it downfield. Not sure if that's the most effective approach.
Right with the huck to Boyda. Boyda passing back to right with some good chemistry between Boyda and right. Right again with the huck and a point scored by Diamond Burchuk. That is the 3rd point for Manitoba. Now, a really fun thing, Manitoba is receiving 3 Team Manitoba juniors for the University Series this year. So that is really exciting just to see the Manitoba and the University and Ultimate grow more in Manitoba.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of making that community grow as a community. I always feel like it's not about the talent you have on the field. Not that this Team Manitoba team isn't super talented, but it's about the chemistry you can build within the team. That's way more important. We just saw that it was a fusion player to a fusion player. It was Wright, who is playing on fusion for a while. She's also Team Canada under 24, one of the most experienced players on this Manitoba team, throwing to Diamond Burchuk, another fusion colleague of hers. So they probably have a lot of reps all summer. No wonder they had that chemistry, and that was a great throw by Millie Wright.
And I think that's the most exciting part with University Series. You see a lot of university players coming off a whole summer of being together and having that chemistry and being able to follow through and continue with that chemistry. Right. University of Manitoba pulling to University of Ottawa.
That last point had a couple turnovers, but otherwise it's still been 5 holds in a row.
Clement with the disc. Turnover for, there's been a call by Barnowski and Bannister.
Great spirit there by Bannister. She practically called that foul on herself. I'd love to see the spirit in the game. I was talking to some of the observers before the games yesterday, Kat, and I was talking to them about what's the difference between senior ultimate and university ultimate. And they said at university, you have a couple more crazy plays, crazy bids, maybe unsafe plays, but you generally have better spirit. People who apologize for the mistakes they've done almost instantly. They know that it's wrong. Whereas at senior level, sometimes you have people who are more stuck in their ways and don't want to necessarily play always the right way.
And that's understandable. University, you're learning how to play Ultimate in a span of maybe a month and a half, and you're coming from diverse sports all over. You've got flag football people, track people. This is a new sport for many. beautiful huck from Bannister, and with a wonderful bid by Yana. That is the point for the University of Manitoba, their first break point.
Yeah, first break point for Manitoba, first break point of the game. I really like that look by Bannister. She was ready. She's wound up with that backhand and then did a beautiful floaty flick. It kind of dived a little bit to the wayside, but her receiver was able to pick it up. Gillian Bannister, also another Team Canada player, this time on the beach team, where she'll play with her coach, Jo Lee Valenciera. Jo Lee, by the way, is quite a character herself. She's been coaching for a while. She plays Sixers and Fusion, and in her spare time, she's an ER nurse. So a great person to have as a coach. If anything goes wrong mentally or physically, you know she's got your back.
She's ready. I was just going to say, a confident thrower like Bannister is really great to have on your team, where you don't hesitate and you're confident with those throws, especially those long hucks, because those are the ones that are the most important, especially when you can recognize that your players are able to cut deep for you and just not hesitating to huck it. That's how you have your perfect textbook connection. All right. If you were in the position of the University of Ottawa, as a coach, what would be your strategy right now? You've just been broken. What would you tell your team?
I don't know if I would change much. I think that their O-line has looked pretty solid so far. It is a second point in a row, which is an opportunity for them to change up. It doesn't look like they've changed up this line too much, so I think they probably have confidence in their O-line, and it'll be up to how they want to adapt defensively now that they have to get a break.
All right, we have Clement picking up the disc here. She's just going to back up to where the observer has it in. Clement to Shannon.
I don't know if it was on purpose there, but Manitoba threw a relatively short pull that rolled out the side. Big huck.
A tall jump. And the point is scored by... We're just trying to see the jersey. Number 8, Barnowski from Shannon.
Yeah, great throw there. And even better, a great read by Barnowski. That was a tough one coming down. It was a 2v2 battle, really floaty, and she wasn't affected by the wind, the competition, or the sun. Two-handed catch. You love to see it.
Absolutely.
As I was saying before, I was really interrupted by that huck. Manitoba threw what was a relatively short pull, but it went out the side, which meant that they had time to set up, and they could kind of trap Ottawa against the sideline. Ottawa weren't deterred, though. They were like, I'm just going to throw something big, and hopefully Barnowski will come out down with it, and she did. So, second opportunity here. Oh, no, never mind. My bad. Here's Manitoba's O-line, but now going the opposite way for the first time this game.
And it'll be fun to see them adjust to the wind as well now that they're on the opposite side, starting on O. We have Kennedy here with the pull. All right, we're gonna see McFadden here pick up the disc. Got a nice bird stack set up here for Manitoba.
Looks like some sort of delay in the game. It looks like a pick off of Amber Friesen. Emily Beausoleil got pick, called it, and they just had to figure out how to go back to. Now it looks like they're just trying to figure out the stall count. Coming in at 4.
Just a little bit more discussion between McFadden and Kennedy here. I think they're discussing the stall count.
At the end of the day, 1 or 2 stall counts might not make the difference, but if that's really important to them, totally valid for them to talk about it. Looks like they're bringing the observer over to get their perspective on exactly what the count was. Not something I often see taking this long of a conversation.
Well, we're lucky that our Team Orange is there to save the day. All right, the disc is back live. McFadden looking again to go back with a defense by Rosenblum. We have Beaulieu picking up the disc. and we have Boyda on defense.
Ottawa really need this chance. They're already down a break. Getting this back would be a great boon for them.
With the IO break to Beausoleil. Beausoleil breaking the disc with the layout. Oh, unlucky. There's been a call.
Looks like another foul call and uncontested again. I'm really liking the spirit I'm seeing from these two teams so far. It's an important game to both teams, hotly contested, but also very spirited.
Absolutely, especially when you can admit to your own call. Beausoleil with the disc. Oh, beautiful block from Boyda. Manitoba is now an O. Right with the disc to Gabert. Gabert to Friesen. Friesen with a hawk. She's looking for Boyda. Boyda with the disc near the end zone. Back to right. And right, oh, so close.
Boyda had tons of space there. Great read, and I really like that Boyda just dished it off, didn't try to do anything too flashy. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on Boyda's read there.
You know, Manitoba is saying how fast they are, and they have a really great give and go speed. They're very fast and able to just keep up and work their way through.
Bit of a zone look here by Manitoba, really poaching off this the front of this CUUC Ottawa vert with Ember Friesen just poaching off the back. Now she's come back in playing normal one-on-one march.
Rosenblum to Grizik. Grizik to Kennedy, unlucky. Kennedy with a defense from McFadden. So we're going to see right here, pick up the disc on the sideline here. Centering it to McFadden. McFadden back to right open to Miko. Miko recenters it to right with a OI flick. Point to Friesen, and that is another point for Manitoba.
Great domination there by McFadden. She really knew what she wanted there when they picked up the disc. She was done with the turnovers. She was like, give it to me. I'm going to put it in. And she knew exactly where she wanted Amber Friesen to be as well. Nice put up. And then Friesen, I don't want to be rude to you, Ottawa, but she got up big, and she looks like a basketball player when she gets up high, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Playing tall is always fun. Play tall and safe.
Yeah, play tall and safe. So right, Kat. Couple turnovers again in that point, but Manitoba still have the hold, which means there's only been one break by Manitoba this game.
Now, it was really interesting to see them. At one point, I heard CUUC Ottawa asking to force the middle as well. And it's tricky, because especially when it's forced middle and they start switching the force, you have to make sure that the rest of your team also understands that that is the force and that they can adjust rapidly in the moment. Because there's moments like this where, you know, Boyda was wide open and she was so happy and ready to catch that disc in the end zone.
For fans at home, just to be clear, so usually if you force, you're forcing teams to only be able to throw on one side of the field. So maybe the far side or the near side, if you're speaking from the camera's perspective. Forcing middle means you're constantly changing the direction of the force. On teams I've played on that's played force middle, you've had someone who's very loud on the sideline calling it so that everyone's on the same page.
Roussel in the middle with the disc. To Prentice. Prentice to Steele. Steele to Shannon as they're working their way up. And Shannon's with a hawk to Sui. Oh, unlucky. Little fumble there. So we have a turnover, and Manitoba is now in possession.
We've all been there, dropping the easy throw, and it's in the end zone, which is just the worst. Not to be a big deal about Erica Sois. She's an experienced player. I'm sure she won't let it affect her mind.
We have Manitoba walking the disc up, and the disc is live. We've got Stays with the disc. Stays looking at her options. Great reach and grab from Stays. A D from Suis. It's kind of like a redemption, you know, you fumble the disc and then you get your D back, and it's probably one of the best feeling, especially after you fumble your disc. We have Clement here picking up the disc on the end zone line. With a pop pass to Prentice, and that is a point for the University of Ottawa.
Risky pop pass, but I'm glad she tried it. It's the flair we love to see in the game. Another hold by U Ottawa, important there. As this game has progressed, we originally started this game with 5 clean holds, not a single turnover. Since then, we've had a bunch more breaks. It's clear that these teams are both getting a little bit more fatigued. It is 5:30 here in Brampton, Ontario, but also the defenses are starting to learn what these offenses want. Speaking of Brampton, shout out to one of our sponsors, the Brampton Experience, or just Brampton Experience, I believe. They have an amazing field set up here, great facilities, and even better, trees in the fall. Can't get enough of these red trees. I hope you fans at home get to see some of these background trees, hopefully when you're not getting too distracted from this brilliant, brilliant Women's University Ultimate Frisbee play here at the CUUC.
And finally, we have some nice weather. We're wearing t-shirts, we're wearing shorts. This is the weather that I wish we had on Friday, and I wish that we have tomorrow, so I'm not going to jinx it.
Who knows about tomorrow, Kat? The weather currently is calling for wind and rain. No one likes that while playing Ultimate, so if you're going to enjoy the weather, might as well do it now.
All right, we've got Beaulieu with the pull to Manitoba. Manitoba starting on O. And then we have McFadden with the disc centering it to right. Right threading it to number Diamond Burchak. Back to McFadden. They're working their way up with Friesen. Friesen, a fusion player. Then to Gabert, or another fusion player and U24 player, actually. So they have that chemistry built there. Back to McFadden. And a D block by Beausoleil.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this McFadden player for Manitoba. This Manitoba team is full of Team Canada players, club players, and as far as we were aware, McFadden hasn't done any of that, yet she's consistently relied upon on this team as one of their core handlers. As a handler, you're gonna throw it away sometimes, it's fine, things happen, but the fact that her coaches trust her so much to be a core handler says a lot about her character and her potential skill.
We're definitely seeing a lot of playtime from McFadden, Wright, and Gobert. Just rotate. Oh, injury called from the University of Ottawa for Beaulieu.
Great bid there by Beaulieu. Sometimes you got to put your body on the line. Maybe you have to go off afterwards just to catch your breath. Hopefully it was just the air knocked out of her and she won't be out for too long. Great play, though. That's the kind of stuff that your O-line needs.
And that's the kind of stuff you're going to see at the university level.
Sorry, that wasn't an O-line. That's D-line with the point right now. My bad.
All right, we have Prentice coming in for Beaulieu.
If you're going to take an injury sub, Brianna Prentice is one of the best options of who you want to come on. Commentator's curse right there. So sorry about that, Bri.
Right with the disc. She's passing it here to our Gabert. Gabert to Bannister. Another TC Beach and Fusion player. And back to McFadden. McFadden to Wright. Wright looking for her end zone options and recentering it back to McFadden. Really great swings and movement of the field and using that space. McFadden with the up the line. Unlucky, a turnover, and University of Ottawa is now on an O. We have Prentice here picking up the disc. Go Ottawa! And we have some fans on the sideline on both sides as well.
For some teams, this isn't a big drive, say York or TMU or Toronto. Ottawa is a bit of a drive for sure, but Manitoba has flown here, so any fan here has come a long way.
You know, you really put your heart out, especially when you're going to fly to somewhere. O'Grady to Griezek. Griezek looking for that huck. Back to Prentice in the center. To O'Grady. O'Grady to Rosenblum.
between you and me, Kat, Rosenblum is one of my favorite names on this field right now.
Rosenblum has a really great last name.
Yeah, just fantastic.
Back to Prentice. Prentice to Grizik. Grizik looking, starting it to O'Grady. O'Grady with a pop to Prentice and blocked by Wright. We're gonna see Wright here pick up the disc. Right to Friesen. Friesen with the hawk and to Boyda. Boyda looking to Wright and right to Bannister, and that is another point for Manitoba.
Great celebration there by Bannister, but I want to give credit to Boyd on that point there. That was a tough read, and she made it look really easy, and she's done this a couple times this game. She's really great at stretching the field, dishing it off, and letting other people make the hard throws while she makes the hard runs, earning those hard yards.
We're also getting a timeout called by University of Ottawa, so we too will be taking our timeout as well.
We'll be right back after this.
And we're back from our timeout called by the University of Ottawa, which, in your opinion, Sanjay, in an instance like this, why would you use a timeout? And let's explain it to our viewers at home.
Well, they've got about 3 minutes until half, and they're down a break. So they need to score this hold and then get a break right after if they're going to tie it up. And going into halftime at an equal footing, let alone a lead, is so huge for the mental side.
Yeah.
Looking at how spread out they are on the field, it's clear they were hoping to maybe do something a bit more direct in this possession. Didn't come out for them. Nice defense there by Manitoba.
I will say it's very challenging as a handler myself when your cutters they're setting their stack way too deep. It makes it very tricky to time your cuts so your throwers can see and have a vision of where their cutters are going to be as well.
I saw someone on the field do an injury hand signal. I'm not sure I see anyone coming off. It might have just been a foul. Looks like the disc just went back. Everything's fine.
Oh, sounds like it was a pick
Thanks
call.
for the sideline. It was a pick. Thank you for the clarification.
So we have Ottawa stuck there on the sideline and then was able to send it back to Mooter and Prentice back with the disc. Manitoba's doing a really good job at really keeping them on that sideline, and Ottawa is having a bit. Oh, I was just gonna say they're having a hard time swinging around, but you have your point to steal, and that's another point for Ottawa. So it looks like In your opinion, do you feel like this timeout was advantageous?
That was a clean hold by Ottawa. That's what they needed. And now here's the big moment. They've got to put on a D-line that can break that Manitoba offense. Manitoba haven't been completely clean all game. They've had a couple breaks, so it's not impossible for Ottawa, I should say, the GGs, to get a hold of this disc on defense. But can they punch it in is the big question. Otherwise, it's been an extraordinarily clean game, Kat. Out of our 11 points, only one break so far.
Now, here's a plot twist. In the perspective and footsteps of Manitoba, what kind of line would you put on, or are we expected to see right now?
I don't think you change anything if you're Manitoba. I think you're playing well, you're taking the lead. Even in few opportunities where they have turned it over, they're getting it back. And what's really nice is they have a variety of ways to score. They can send it long to Boyda. They can play it in the short realm with Frieza and Wright and Bannister, and it makes it really hard for you, Ottawa, to know how to set up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a zone look here from you, Ottawa, come out against Manitoba. Change it up, but give them something that they haven't seen yet.
And with the wind picking up, this would be the perfect time to surprise them.
As you just mentioned, the wind did die a little bit, and that's why the disc was able to come towards the camera for maybe the first time all day.
Wright will be bringing the disc to the brick mark. So we're seeing a horizontal here from Manitoba, which is the first time we've seen it so far. Manitoba sending it to Friesen. Friesen to Diamond Burchuk.
Also a great name.
I like diamonds.
Coco Diamond Burchuk is a great name.
And the point to Wright.
Boom goes the dynamite for Coco Diamond Burchuk, also known as CDB by her friends.
And that's another point for the University of Manitoba. This is a really exciting game.
Great game so far, really tight on both ways. I don't think that score is representative in terms of what we're seeing on the screen. Yes, that's right. It's 7-5 Manitoba. One more point until half, unless that was a timed half right there. I'm not sure if we know for sure.
We've got University of Ottawa setting their line, so I think we're going to take half at 8. And yeah, by the looks of it, it looks like half will be at 8.
One of our fans on the sideline just commented that the U Ottawa team is getting a bit quiet on the sideline. It's a good point, to be honest. At this point in the day, it's hard to keep the energy up both on the field and on the sideline. Your vocal cords can get fatigued after this kind of long day, university students included, because sometimes they just don't have the experience to know that you got to do vocal warm-ups at 9 a.m.
Yes, vocal warm-ups. That's a great way to put it. It's true. The first university tournaments, all of the students lose their voice because they're cheering so much.
If anyone's ever seen Pitch Perfect, just take notes from there. You know, that's what you got to do. High School Musical has some good ones as well if you want to be inspired.
That's some Y2K right there. Prentice with the disc. To Clement. So Manitoba, as we've seen before, have been forcing them sideline and really trapping them there. Unlucky, Shannon to...
Another opportunity for this Manitoba D-line to show what they have on the offensive side.
Alrighty, we've got Lazaruk here with the disc. Lazaruk back to Stays. And Lazaruk with the huck to Lazaruk, and Lazaruk scored the point. Sorry, I guess that was Lamoureux to Lazaruk. And that's a point for Manitoba, and I think that's another break point, and Manitoba takes half.
I actually think that was a throw from Bannister, who we've seen throw a couple hucks like that today, but what a dive. And you really heard Lazaruk be like, hey, I'm going, throw it to me. No one was near her, and it was a dot. And that's what you need if you want to take half. So that's halftime for them, and it's going to be halftime for us. We'll see you on the other side of half.
Let's go, GD. Let's go.
I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 And we're back in Brampton with Kat Fortin and Sanjay Peters, and we've got the University of Ottawa and University of Manitoba in our Div 1. We have University of Manitoba with the lead of 8-5. Sanjay, what are some things and some thoughts about the game so far that you've seen?
Honestly, it's a really tight game, and them being down by 3 right now is not a fair representation of how tight this game is. The ultimate difference is that Manitoba has broken Ottawa twice, but it is Ottawa's serve right now. If Ottawa have any chance of making a comeback and winning this game, they've got to change up their D-line so that when they do get possession of the disc, they have the capacity to score a point.
Now, what are some things as a coach you would have said to your team during that halftime? It was a pretty, you can see on both sides during that halftime, both teams were in a huddle, very close, and it seemed very serious on both sides. So as a coach, what would you be telling your players?
Sorry, for which team were you asking for there, Kat?
Both of them.
Oh, I think at the end of the day, this game is not a make or break for the season. This is still a group stage or a pool play game. Still a pool play game before tomorrow, and no matter what the team is, they have a chance to go all the way. I know both these teams take this tournament very seriously. They're second and third seeded respectively, and they'll want to take whatever results they get today and potentially try and medal.
So we are seeing a zone from Manitoba, and it's really exciting because the wind has just picked up, so this is a perfect time to surprise the University of Ottawa with this.
I always love a zone after the half, because at halftime, Ottawa is probably talking about all the things they want to do in offense, and then you throw a zone in just to mess things up.
Very strategic. We've got Prentice here with the disc to Clement. Clement to Shannon, and that is a point for the University of Ottawa. It is now 8-6 for Manitoba. And that is a point that I think University of Ottawa needed, especially after that halftime. It just really goes to show you how that talk seemed to be really motivational and really help them redeem themselves, because you know what, the best thing about Ultimate is sometimes seeing second half teams. You never know what can happen in the second half.
Sure, let's not jinx it though.
Knock on wood.
I'm not surprised Ottawa scored there. Their handler core is so deep and strong. The real question is, how much are they going to flip those players onto the D-line for the rest of this game? Is this a game that the Ottawa coaches are saying, hey, you know what? Let's stop giving everyone equal playing time. Let's start making these players earn their Team Canada title.
And I remember the coaches were saying how they were really happy with their roster. A lot of the girls being a mix of Oz players, Stella players, Team Canada players, even some mixed scene as well, and some juniors coming up. But the nice thing they were saying with some of the Oz players and your Wicked players was that they're more comfortable with the disc, therefore they have that confidence, and your elite players can feel and have that more comfort and just have that connection and chemistry when throwing the disc. And
that's right, Kat. Before the game, we were talking to the U Ottawa coaches. They were talking about how the team from last year, which finished first, by the way, at this tournament, have lost some of their experience, so they can't just rely on the same maybe 10 players just to run the game. But what they do have is, as you mentioned, a bunch of players who played Oz this offseason, and they've all gained a lot of confidence from playing for that club team. That's fantastic, and that's the kind of stuff you need to have a sustained quality university team year on year. And you're not going to have a team every year that's just chock full of A+ talent. You need the depth if you're going to be good.
And those players come in waves. And a point right to... That is a point from right to Fradkov, and that is another point for Manitoba.
Fradkov's a name that we haven't really said that much today.
Sorry, I meant Diamond Burchuk that scored that point.
Oh, Diamond Burchuk scored it. That's not a surprise. CDB is just a mainstay on this team. Manitoba have been really spot on with some of their deep shots this game, and I haven't really seen anything from Ottawa to try and compensate from that. You would think they would try and have someone on the back switching off and creating that 2-on-1 pressure. Maybe it's that the coaches don't want to do that. Maybe they haven't decided it's worth it yet, or maybe they're worried that they don't quite have the height to compete with CDB or some of these other Manitoba ladies. Sorry, I also wanted to give a shout out to the other one who's been scoring a whole lot in Ella Boyda.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like the style that University of Ottawa is playing is very conservative, which isn't wrong. You know, it's very textbook, as we've seen a lot of swinging and using the space and swinging across the field and just being so patient until they reach the end zone, which you don't really see in a lot of teams. A lot of people sometimes like to jump the gun and throw the huck, and you're either lucky or you're unlucky. We have Clement back with a disc with Shannon. And we've got some person defense with a poach from... Sorry. That was a poach from Lamoureux.
Great bid there by Bessolet to keep that in play.
A great to Roussel, and that is a point for Ottawa. And I think an Oz connection too, because both of them played Oz together. So that's a really fun, again, it's really fun to see the club teams have their connection and transfer that to the university scene.
Another hold by Ottawa's O-line. It's getting repetitive, this line, because both O-lines are being pretty consistent. Ottawa's O-line's only dropped 2 breaks. It's not really that much at this level. Now, before the game started, U Ottawa coaches talked a lot about how much zone they were planning on playing, and despite it, because it was a windy day. We've seen a little bit, but we haven't seen that much. They've got to start throwing other looks to these Manitoba handlers. Otherwise, they're just going to run away with it and wind down this clock.
Do you think there would be any offensive strategy that you would change if you were Manitoba setting their line at the moment?
You could maybe argue that Manitoba could play more possessive, keep the disc, wind down the clock. I think that's a risky thing to do. I think in my experience, what you want to do is have short O points, long D points. Let your O points stay fresh, exciting, jumpy, twitchy, and then make their O-line play long points, because you can always throw on another D player. Great pull. That was a bullet down the field. A little miscommunication there by Manitoba.
Great job, Wright, getting that off of her end zone line. Now we have that back with Diamond Burchak. Oh, nice attempt bid there. Oh, an injury called by Fradkov.
Fradkov's a name that we haven't said that much today, but she's a key player for this Manitoba team. Nice bid there, good for him, and hopefully she just got the wind knocked out of her a little bit, and it's not too serious, and that she'll be back on this Manitoba O-line later today.
So we've got Fradkov replaced by Bannister. The University of Ottawa is now in possession.
Big opportunity here by the Ottawa D-line. You can see Brie Prentice has been moved over this line, given an opportunity to help them score.
Kennedy with the disc. Kennedy to Rosenblum. Rosenblum to Kennedy with the up the line cut. And the huck. And Wright being tall, catching that, and it's turnover. Manitoba with possession. We've got Wright bringing it up to the line. Friesen with the disc. To Diamond Burchak. With a pop pass to Wright. We love those pop passes. We've seen a few today. I know personally I find that risky with the little bit of wind that we have, but love that they have that. Right.
University is all about the risk.
Point from Wright to Friesen in the end zone, and that is another point for Manitoba.
Amber Friesen is having one of the games of her life. If I'm Ottawa, I got to call a timeout. We've got to talk about what to do here on D-line. They're getting pumped every time. Manitoba's just shooting it deep, and they've got great throws and great receivers, so it's no surprise that they're pulling those down. But Ottawa's not doing anything to combat it, and just then, when they did get the disc, you heard the coaches yelling on the sideline, we got to see movement. They aren't having their cutters create enough energy on the field to create any sort of option.
And I am loving Wright's handling. I love how much confidence she has in all of her players and knows and anticipates where they're going to cut, as well as the cutters having so much confidence in their handler and knowing that she can make those throws. And it's just the perfect connection that, that makes you love watching Ultimate.
We spoke before this game about how these are the two of the teams that we expect to see in the finals tomorrow. So far, I'm very impressed with what I've seen from Manitoba on both sides of the disc. I think Ottawa's O-line is strong, but I'm not seeing enough tactical versatility from their coaching staff in order for them to make the difference in big games such as this.
Alrighty. A pull from Diamond Burchak. Roussel with the disc to Clement. Clement to Prentice. Prentice to Clement. Clement back to Steele. Steele to Holshut. Sorry, Bree. To Soys. Soys to Barnowski. Barnowski right on the edge of the end zone there, looking for options. And to Holshush. And that is a point for Ottawa with a 2 points behind Manitoba.
That was a misconnection there on Holshuk. Twice she got open, but on the last point, clearly both defenders thought the other person was getting her. So easy hold there for Ottawa.
So we can see now they're exchanging points. And I know both teams want to win, but being 2 points behind, what are some strategies that you would hope to see or that you want to see from Ottawa in this next point?
I feel like I've already said this enough times there, Kat. They got to put an option on to take away those deep shots. They got to change it up so that their handlers aren't getting such easy connections with each other. And when they do get that break, which I'm sure they will, they got to have some sort of strategy. They got to know what they want to do, because right now they're getting the disc and everyone looks frozen with their feet frozen to the ground.
Or oftentimes we sometimes see, and we've seen it on both sides, that the stack, if it's horizontal especially or vertical, is stacked a little bit too deep, which makes it really challenging for the handlers, and it forces the handlers just to throw among themselves. Alrighty. So we've got Gabay picking up the disc to right. And a D from Beaulieu.
Great block there by Emma Beaulieu, and she was excited about it too.
A little victory dance there.
Big opportunity here by U Ottawa.
Beaulieu to O'Grady. O'Grady with a pass to Beaulieu up the line. And unlucky, so close in the end zone there. Unfortunate drop from Mutter. Wright is picking up the disc.
I like that movement a lot more from Ottawa. It felt like they knew the strategy. Now, it was really close to the end zone, so it's a lot easier to play like that. But at least they were getting it really close. A drop in the end zone is a drop in the end zone.
Injury call from Gabay with a nice attempt at that with that layout.
I think that's 3 bids we've seen today and 3 injuries right afterwards, but I don't think anyone stayed off the game for long.
We've got Bannister coming in for Gabay. You know, unfortunately, at the end of the day, after playing 3 games, you're going to start seeing injuries, especially on the last day of CUUCs after you've been playing for a full day, some even playing on Friday. Unfortunately, that's what you're going to start seeing. Kennedy looking to Beaulieu up the line, and Beaulieu putting it to Mutter. Again, Mutter with the attempted bid in the end zone. It is a turnover, and we've got Manitoba in possession.
Tough throws to Mutter. Both of those aren't really easy options. Something else I think is worth saying is just before this game, Manitoba had a relatively easier game, whereas U Ottawa had to play a universe point game against Laval. You've just mentioned about how on a long day, your legs get a little tired by the end. Plus, it's 6 p.m. These guys are probably starting to think about dinner. And it's easy to start getting tired at this late stage. If U Ottawa is more tired than Manitoba, that'll be the difference maker. It's also not just tiredness in legs, it's fatigue of the mind, Kat.
So we just had a interception from Ottawa, only to be re-intercepted again by Manitoba. So we'll have Manitoba back in possession there. But you're right, it is usually 6 o'clock. This is the time usually our players will go home and just use this time to decompress and recover and get ready for the following day. Wright is there on the sideline with Kennedy with a defense block. And Beaulieu, a team effort.
It looks like Manitoba's deep game has stopped working just for this 1 point.
So we're seeing a vert stack here from Ottawa, and we've been seeing a lot of horizontal.
Nice try there by Bissolet to pull that down. Honestly, it was just over her head. Not much you can do about that.
So we're going to see McFadden pick up the disc here and call a timeout on Manitoba. And that means we are also going to be taking a timeout. So we will be back.
We're back after a timeout. Manitoba have the disc in their own third, right on the sideline here. This is, it feels like a game-defining point right here. There's been 4 turnovers per side, so total of 8 turnovers this point, the most in any single point so far this game. Manitoba have an opportunity to hold it here. If they do, I don't know if Ottawa is going to have a chance to make a comeback. If Ottawa can turn it and push it in, this could be the turning point that they needed in order to win this game.
So here we are seeing some action from Friesen to Bannister. Oh, beautiful break is centering the disc to
McFadden there.
McFadden again. Now we're seeing some more Diamond Birchak again. To Fradkov. Fradkov centering that again to Diamond Birchak. Diamond Birchak to number Boyda. Looks like there was a pick called again. Pick called, I think the University of Ottawa player called a pick call on Boyda. That's why she was so wide open, as we've seen.
If someone's really wide open, it's either because someone made a mistake or more often than not, it's a pick call.
So the disc will be coming in on 6. Beautiful
what a bid there
layout.
by
Boyda. And
sorry,
there,
I don't think that was Boyda. I think that was Amber Friesen.
oh, it is definitely Amber Friesen. I'm so sorry.
You can tell because she has that iconic bandana. Great look here by Amber Friesen.
There was some discussion of a down call, and now I think there's a discussion of positioning of where they were when there was a stoppage of play.
Amber Friesen just faked that hammer. I'm not seeing as many hammers as I'd like to see in this game. Oh, there we go.
You spoke too soon. Beautiful hammer point, Amber Friesen to Bannister.
You know what they say, Kat? Good things come when you turn the disc upside down.
I love that. We can
Well,
see
after a very long point there, Kat, another hold by this Manitoba O-line. And we've talked about trying to get Ottawa to change something to get that conversion, but we haven't talked enough about how good Manitoba's O-line's defense has been. It's easy to play offense sometimes, but sometimes you see an O-line play offense, they turn it over because it's going to happen, and then they just don't have the defensive skills to keep it out of their end zone. And every time they've done it, which has been a couple times so far today, they've had the rock steadiness to keep it out of their own end zone. So far, Manitoba are deserving this lead.
absolutely. We're seeing very low turnovers when they're on offense from Manitoba. So it'll be really exciting to see the rest of their game and strategy.
Big pull here by Team Manitoba. Oh, another freaking bullet. Great pull there by Manitoba. The wind has really died down at the end of the day here, so it makes sense that their pulls are going exactly where they want to. A bit of a mistake, terrible mistake there by Ottawa. Just a missed throw. It's happened to the best of us, but it puts Manitoba in great possession here, right in front of the end zone, right centered.
And we're seeing a vert stack. And it looks like it's in. We've passed from Robertson to one of the players on Manitoba. Oh yes, there we go, Lamoureux, and that is scoring their 12th point with 8 minutes left.
Violet Lamoureux has a bunch of experience. She played for the Winnipeg team also at PPHG this past summer. It's not being spoken enough today, but great that she got on the scoreboard. Honestly, between you and me, Kat, we've got 8.5 minutes left. Ottawa are down 3 breaks. That might be it for this game. Now, it's not it for this tournament for you, Ottawa. They can still come back and do what they were aiming for, which is to medal at this tournament, come in the top 3. Definitely possible. They just have to get out of their mental game and leave this game behind them tomorrow.
Absolutely. And, 8 minutes is a lot. You never know what can happen within those 8 minutes.
Yeah, you're right, Kat. We've seen bigger turnovers at the University Series before.
Especially with Laval against Ottawa earlier. Laval was down a few points and they were able to tie it and then force a universe point there. So maybe it'll be the same thing.
It's a good point, Kat. To be specific, Laval were down 4 points, came back, and then they did lose on universe. But you're 100% right. You, Ottawa, can do anything they set their mind to.
Beautiful pull from Cruz.
A big difference maker could be if Manitoba take their foot off the gas. If they start thinking this is going to be easy, lemon easy, then that's going to be the difference maker.
Prentice
Nice
hucking it with a beautiful block from Chan. Chan just being really tall in that end zone.
As much as this game is important and all these players are competing, I really like the spirit there by Christina Bernowski. As the Manitoba player was D'ing her, she also laid her hands out to make sure she had a safe fall.
And a beautiful block by Clement. Clement picking up the dish with a IO break to Annika Steele, and that is a point for Ottawa. Like I said, 6 minutes left. It's not over yet.
Was that a break cut? No, it wasn't a break. No,
I think we hear their break cheer.
Yeah,
they have some really fun break cheers. I love hearing the different cheers at tournaments. It's very fun and creative, and then you start hearing all the other teams then using the same cheer. Also, speaking of PPHG, shout out to their uniform this summer and their tracksuits. That was amazing.
I think anyone in the club scene knows that PPHG had the kit of the summer. I do like these kits here too, so shout out to our other sponsor, Be Ultimate. They've dressed up these girls amazingly this weekend. They've helped Manitoba, especially their men's team. I don't know if their women's team also has these track pants, but the Team Manitoba men's team have these amazing blue track pants that I've seen on a couple teams this season. Oh, it looks like, actually, my mistake, Ottawa has them as well. Those burgundy numbers, a great look by them.
You've got kind of like a jersey fade into their pants.
Yeah.
But you've seen a lot of tracksuits by B around the whole tournament. So shout out to B Ultimate and great job with the designs.
Okay, about a halfway pull here, right stuck on the sideline. But they get to walk into the middle, of course. My bad.
Right again with the disc, centering it to Friesen. Friesen with their huck. And a beautiful pointed Diamond Birchog. Look at that connection. We've seen that connection throughout the whole. A lot of Friesen, a lot of Diamond Birchog, and of course a lot of right.
Great read by CDB. Honestly, that was kind of tough. It went right over her head. Tough read by CDB, but I'm actually not surprised by anything she does at this point. I gotta say, I didn't see anything from you, Ottawa, to try and take away that deep look, even though that's the main thing that that Manitoba's been doing on offense the whole point. I'm gonna stop saying that because I'm beginning to tire myself out. I feel like a broken record. 4 minutes left, 4 points down.
And
Ottawa needs to hold and 3 breaks in order to tie it up.
We're also getting a timeout called from Manitoba, and seems like, I've seen this before, sometimes you'll call that timeout just to kill time and really keep that point advantage that you have. But you know what? If you have that timeout, you might as well use it. Otherwise, why do we give timeouts?
It's a vet move. Honestly, I think calling a timeout right now is a great move, and we're going to take a timeout as well and see you right after.
Alrighty, and we are back. Manitoba just called a timeout. We have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, and it is currently sitting 13-9 Manitoba against Ottawa. Sanjay, what are your thoughts so far on this game? Well, it's coming to an end, so let's hear a nice little conclusion, a debrief.
If you're just joining us, it's been a very tightly matched game. At the end of the day, I think Ottawa has done themselves proud, and I think they can be happy with their performance. The ultimate difference maker was Manitoba's offense was just too powerful. They had some great shots consistently throughout the game, and Ottawa just didn't have an answer. Even when they were able to break and get that disc back, they weren't able to convert. And Manitoba's 3 breaks throughout the game has been unstoppable.
Looks like there's a foul call between Robertson and Oudraba. Oudraba seemed like she had possession of the disc, and there may have been some contact that caused maybe a dropping, but that's why we have our observers there, just to talk about the ruling, because I think we're also getting a contested call as well. It's always hard to see those, and we've got a blue card. Can you explain to folks at home what a blue card is?
A blue card is a form of bad spirit that you can do. Sorry, I'm seeing the sideline also asking me the same kind of question. It's not exactly bad over damage, it's bad spirit. So it's showing that the person who received the card was not agreeing, for example, that that was a dangerous play. As opposed to a yellow card, which would just be for dangerous play.
Alrighty, we've got Herms with the disc. And Herms shooting it in the end zone with a beautiful layup by Lazaruk. And that is a point. 14-9 for Manitoba with 12 seconds left of the game.
Boy, Lazaruk is fast. That disc went up, she was nowhere near it, and she moved those feet like I've never seen before. Call her Barry Allen out in this field. That's the horn right there.
It's not the horn yet. That's our scoreboard.
That's our scoreboard going off, not the official horn, which will, I'm sure, go off quite soon, which means there's 1 point left to go in this game. Bit of a funny group here, as Manitoba lost to Laval earlier, Ottawa beat Laval, and now Manitoba's beating Ottawa. So it'll be interesting to see how these groups come out in the final wash.
Yes, absolutely. Especially, okay, that is the horn that we hear. And so this is going to be our final point for today. And we've got Ottawa on O. Last point of the day. This is where you really empty the tank and just get it out all on the field so you can go home, recover, and get ready for your Sunday CUUC. We've got Kennedy here with the disc, centering it to Beaulieu. Beaulieu to Yulia Kozarski. Intercepted by Bannister. Really tall there. And a turnover. We have Emma Beaulieu walking to the disc to pick it up. So there's a turnover again. So this is Harms now picking up the disc. And a beautiful huck with a great catch and save by Friesen. with an attempted block by Boudier. And, an attempted layout there. Unlucky.
I like that form on that bid there. They're just throwing up the bids because it's the last game of the day. I get it.
We have What a Singy picking up the disc here for Ottawa. What is... Right, looking to Emma, Boudier looking to Chloe with Gobert, just jumping a bit higher. And we've seen that a lot. She's very tall and she's been really using her height. Centering it to Cruz. Friesen hucking to Lamoureux. Oh, so close. We can really see that Friesen loves those hucks. We've seen her huck all day. As soon as she gets it and she has that chance, without hesitation, she hucks it to that end zone. Boudier in Ottawa start on... Oh. Boudier to Kennedy. Kennedy to Boudier. Boudier to Kazorski. A bid defense by Lamoureux, but there seems to be a foul call.
Whether or not it was a foul, Violet Lamoureux is taking no prisoners, even though the game is basically over. I'm sure Coach Joe is excited to see how hard Violet Lamoureux is working, even though it's the end of the day.
Observer ruling, it is now Ottawa's disc. Lamoureux in possession.
And then the point block by Violet Lamoureux. She took that call personally.
Great way for redemption. Bannister to Herms. And Bannister with a huck to Lamoureux, and that is the final point for Manitoba, 15-9.
I hope Lamoureux likes to read because she just got some bookends right there.
Alrighty, that concludes our game for today, the very last game for our Saturday. Please tune in with us tomorrow morning at 8:30 with the possibility of 10:15 due to rain. But thank you so much. That's me, Kat Fortin, and Sanjay Parker. And over to you. Did you have any last thoughts that you want to say?
We do have some final results for the group. We don't know exactly the results between Laval and Sherbrooke, but we know based off of goal difference, Manitoba has most likely achieved the top finish in their group, and unfortunately that -6 scoreline was a big deal and has bumped Ottawa likely down to 3rd place. Now they were the 2nd seed. It doesn't mean that it's over for them tomorrow, but it does mean that they're going to probably have a tougher bracket, and they might have to face a team like Toronto earlier than they would have hoped.
It'll be very exciting for tomorrow and some really great Ultimate. Check us out on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. And again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors, Ultimate Canada, Discraft, Be Ultimate, and Experience Brampton. Have a good night, everyone.